Hello, and welcome to DM Tips. My name is Julie Hudeman. I'm the Extension Strategic Initiatives Coordinator for Purdue Extension, and our topic today is reporting direct educational contacts. I will take a few minutes to look at some digital measure screens and show you the data field that we will be doing for contacts. And then I have a few slides at the end to show you some of the resources that we have. When I finish my presentation today, we will open it up for your questions. Let's start and look at the Digital Measures screen. When you log into Digital Measures, you come to the Activities screen, and you'll want to scroll down to the bottom where you find the Extension section and select Learning Events. If you notice on the Learning Events screen, there is information. There is an email where you can get some help, or if you look at the top menu bar, there's a question mark that you can click on for some help. There is also a document embedded right here that has all instructions and information that you might need. We're going to click on the button that says Add New Item today and look at how we enter direct educational contacts. I'm going to skip over most of the fields today as I get to the contacts information that we're going to do today. As you're reporting on your event that you have presented, we're going to come down here to the direct educational contact section. There is a question mark here that's a help tip box that will open up to remind you how to fill that out if you can't remember. Here is the section for direct educational contacts. This chart is what we use to document the attendees or the participants in our programs, our workshops and events. Now, a participant is someone who is there to learn from the program or the workshop. A participant is someone from the public. A participant is not a Purdue University student or our extension specialists or educators. These are people who are attending our workshops to learn something. These are not our volunteers. If you have adult volunteers who are helping you, you wouldn't be recording them here as contacts. They're there to help you. They're not here to learn. So you would put them down below in a section called volunteers, and I'll show you in just a minute. You would also not indicate your teachers from a school system that might be there as you're stepping into their class and giving a presentation, for example. They are not the ones they're learning. They would be an external partner, and I'll show you what that looks like. So let's take a look here. We're going to talk about the people that attended our program. When we talk about educational contacts, we're going to identify people by their age, by their gender, by their ethnicity, and by their race. So here is the chart that shows you, first of all, ethnicity at the top, and then race. You notice that we have youth on the left side and we have adult on the right side, male and female, and male and female. So what you do when you are identifying the participants or the attendees in your program is you're counting how many people are attending by these different categories. You actually first identify by ethnicity. And ethnicity is referring to the Spanish-related geographies or locations across the globe. And when I get to my slides, I'm going to show you the whole definition of these and where you can find them. But we identify first of our participants whether or not they are Hispanic or Latino or not Hispanic or Latino. So we identify our individuals here. Let's say I have a program and I have 10 adults and 10 adult females who are not Hispanic or Latino, and I have 20 who are Hispanic or Latino here and 20, for example. My particular event has only adults in it that are there. You might have youth only, you might have youth and adult, just depending upon your program. So now that I have identified the number of participants I have in my program by ethnicity, the next thing I do is identify by race. So what I basically do is count the people all over again, separately from ethnicity, and identify them here. So of my 30 males and 30 females that I had up here, I'm going to be writing them down here by their race. So when I take a look at my chart, I should see that the total of my participant numbers under ethnicity which is 60 up here, should be the same or very close to the total of the numbers in the race section. I'm counting the same people. I'm just counting them two different ways. So that's how you report the direct educational contacts. Let's say you had an adult volunteer helping you in your session. You would not put your volunteers here. You would scroll down here to the volunteer section, and you would indicate volunteers in this section. You had one adult volunteer who helped you for the hour-long presentation that you gave. Let's say your particular presentation was at a school and it was for youth, and you were in, and there was a teacher involved, and the teacher was there, a facilitator, helping you as you went through your program. You would identify down here in external partners, the school, corporation, there where you were for that particular event. Okay, so the teacher there would be identified as external partner, but not a participant, because the teacher would not be there to learn. The students would be the ones that are there to learn. How do you count your direct contacts? One of the things that's flexible in Digital Measures is the ability to identify more than one session of an event in one screen. So depending upon how you mark it up here in your sessions, let's say if I have one event, we met one time and we met for an hour. Then I have 60 people that showed up that time. But if I were to say that I had 2 sessions in the same month, which is what we report our events by, is by each month. Let's say that I actually did that twice. We had 2 meetings in the month. So I would have 2 sessions that we met, and so we met for 2 hours total. What I do then is I report every time the participant is there. So in a perfect world, I would actually be doubling my numbers here. So I actually had 10 adult males, but they were there twice, so I count them both times. So we're just counting the times that they show up. This may vary from time to time, but at least I'm just showing you that you double your numbers if you are recording multiple sessions at one time. We could do the same thing down below, but for sake of time, I won't do that. But that's how you count them. Okay. Let me change screens. I want to show you some other things. So to reiterate, your direct educational contacts are your participants, your attendees, your clients, your students, those who are showing up to learn something from the program that you're putting on that particular session. They are not the adult volunteers who are helping you. They are not teachers in the classroom, and they are not us, like Purdue Extension. So if you happen to do a program where you're teaching Purdue Extension how to do things, you wouldn't be identifying that here. That would be professional development for our staff. Our contacts are identified by youth or adult, and youth is under 18. Adult is 18 and older. We identify by gender, ethnicity, and race. There are definitions of ethnicity and race available to you. I've mapped them out here, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, we have them posted on our website, and you can pull up that information there. So again, you document individuals by ethnicity first, and then you document them also by race. How do you do that? Well, you need to ask them. There needs to be a process that you have in place that you ask people for their ethnicity and for their race and for their gender and their age. We don't make it mandatory. It's not required. We can't force them to tell us this information, but we need to give it a try. So how do you do that? In your registration, pre-registration process, you might include this information. Maybe during your on-site check-in, they have an ability to fill out a form that tells you those things. Maybe during your attendance, or maybe in your evaluation. But there's other processes you can use to gather information about your direct contacts. And just as a note to you, the CVent that has been set up now for Extension has the questions embedded in registration. So if you're using the CVent system through Extension, you will see those questions in your registration. When I mentioned earlier that there are questions available to you, there is a Word template document that's posted on our website, and you see the URL at the bottom of the screen here. It's set up so that you can print a piece of paper and cut it in half vertically, and you have this list of questions. So these are the questions that you would ask. And notice that we can indicate that something might not be listed or that they prefer not to answer as an option, so that they can tell you their gender, ethnicity, race, and or age as they are interested. So that's what you need to know to identify your direct educational context and report it in digital measures. Just to remind you, we have embedded instructions on the DM screens. There are pop-up windows that are called help tips on the screen to help you with each data entry. We have a website on metrics that's available to you to give you more information and background. And if you ever are in the middle of it and you have a question, you email dmhelp@list.purdue.edu. Thank you.